Hi, Dwight, Donna, Selvin Sperling. Hey, I'm going ahead here and sending you this video because I thought it might be easier than trying to explain everything in an email. What we've got going on is we've tried to put everything together that we can from the notes, the pictures that you sent over of different floor plans and and incorporate as much as possible of what you asked for in that. That being said, in this first draft, as usual, there's going to be a lot of issues that we'll need to discuss and figure out, where we're going to compromise, what we need to do. One of the first things I thought I'd show you here is, again, we've tried to keep the footprint as small as possible. We've cut, and a lot of things are still not up to what you asked for. For example, this dining area here does not have room at this point to seat 12 people. So this we've kind of compromised on, but maybe that's not an option. Maybe the wall has to come forward in one direction or the other. And maybe the whole layout here isn't correct, but we got to start somewhere. So then we also have the stairway, which starting at the top here would come down around a landing and back down to the basement level. We have a couple of versions, one with the garage attached, one with the breezeway in between, but trying to shove this up as close as possible. I have the garage attached on this one. We have a step up into the entry area, and then this would just be your driveway headed on down. Now, we also have the master bath and everything here laid out best we can. This view will be out towards the valley side, with the hillside being up. So we're trying to orient it absolutely square to the hillside right now to minimize the amount of retaining walls and things like that would be required. That's what this line here actually is representing, is that this would have to be a retaining wall. The garage in this configuration is actually almost completely buried, and you'll see a lot more of that later. So anyway, this is the floor plan. I'm going to shift back into our CAD view so that we can move around a little bit more. Now again, things look a little bit different. These lines that are dashed around things, these are just our clearance lines. Things are absolute minimum to work. The dishwasher door being down, things like that. The amount of space needed in front of the washer and dryer. That's what all that's about. So anyway, that's step one. And then let's look at how this is oriented and sitting on the site. Okay, so here we are with the site plan, and there's a lot of lines on here, and I'm sorry it's kind of confusing, but we'll start off with in here. I don't know if you see the mouse moving, the cursor moving or not. Maybe I changed the color here. See, this is the orientation. Here's the garage down in here, and the main body of the house, the stairway, the front door, and every one of these lines that you see represent 1 foot of change in elevation. The heavier lines that you see indicate every 10 feet, so there's 10 lines in here. We also have some other information. All of this will be in the paper copies and the email, but this gives you your longitude, latitude, how much slope we have, which is 27%. And what that means is that for every 100 feet we go out, we're going to drop 27 feet as we go down, or vice versa, go up. And the difference between true north, which is what your plot plans and everything are, and what your magnetic north is if you went out there with a compass. You will also see that we have a lot of other lines. The red arc around here, which will only be red on my screen, that's summertime when it's hot. This is with the sun coming up, and the long arc it makes as it goes all the way around and then sets. And the times and dates are listed there. These are the equinoxes, or the solstices. And then in the wintertime, the longest day, or excuse me, the shortest day of the winter is here on the 21st. So we see that line represented here. Now, it doesn't go down officially till over here, but because of your hillside, We have to come clear back around here to about 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when you'll actually see the sun disappear on you. So let me make a change here. Clean this up a little bit, get the trees out of the way. This white set of lines indicates where your existing cut for the driveway is right now. And again, there's that retaining wall we were talking about earlier. Now I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer here, and we'll see a little bit more. Again, you see all these lines coming off, and all these, they all have different meanings. Let's clean this up a little bit. Well, no, before I do, I wanted to show you where we're coming up with these numbers. Again, we talked about how much fall is going across. This is the flattest area of your site. If you actually look here, the lines, you can tell, get closer together as we go up. So this is about as flat a spot on your site as we have, and it's where the top of the road comes in, so we wanted to use that. So anyway, and this one indicates what would happen if there was a breezeway between, just pushing the buildings apart just a bit. But again, you can see that if we pick somewhere in here as being neutral, or using existing ground line, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 feet of dirt in here that we're going to have to cut out in the back corner. So this is basically like a basement back here to build your garage on. And then we have to put a retaining wall in so that we can drive in and somewhere in here start to cut and come right on in to the driveway. Same thing. If we go downhill from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 feet down. So even in the basement area, it may be a crawl space because of so many feet down. Or we make a very tall wall down in here. But if we do that to save on the front end, then we have a deeper cut back here. We'd have to have the basement wall kind of follow around the stairway here, and then it could come straight through, and all of this area would be in the basement below. And somewhere in this line we'd come across with our basement wall. Now here's another problem. Way it is right now, these this square footage just on the main level with the one bedroom is sitting at about 1,800 feet. If we have to put a basement in that basically follows these lines, excuse me, through here, then so you can see that if we have it just go to this point here and utilize this space down below, put our bedrooms in and a little activity space, that we're going to be substantially over 2,000 because we're at 1,800 on the main level right now. Probably at least another 1,000 square feet down below. So instead of 2,000, we're at 2,800. And we've already compromised a little bit on the size of the utility from what you asked, the dining, and a few things like that. There is another option that we can get into as well, and that is